Welcome to the Fourth Side, presented by UVA Community Credit Union and powered by Keswi. I'm your host, Amal Hawkins. And as always, man, we appreciate you taking time out today to check out an updated episode of the Fourth Side, a new interactive show for you, the fans. The Fourth Side, to stay connected to the University of Virginia football team. We understand that it's difficult times, but this is what we do, man. Every Friday, we recap games, we preview games, we have special guests, but you have to stay interactive with me because we don't like to look at shows where the hosts do all the talking. And that's the Ballhawk, and, I love to interact. So make sure you utilize Twitter, make sure you utilize the Facebook fan group, and also send them questions in, man. We want to hear what you have to say. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll shout you out, your name, where you from, and we're going to have some fun. So I got special guests on the line, probably two, you never know, on the Fourth Side. But before we get started, we got to recap last week's game versus Clemson. Hard-fought game versus one of the best teams in the country. And the Who's came up a little short, but we'll tap back into what we saw in Death Valley. The last time the Tigers lost at home was to Pitt in 2016. The Who's came in a 4-touchdown underdog. Started out a little slow. Kept them at bay, in the earlier downs. Brendan Armstrong started off a little slow. Couple incompletions. He was just 1 of 9, and the Who's got down early, 10-0. But Armstrong was tough, built forward tough, taking a big hit from the big linebacker from Clemson. But he just get back up. He from Ohio, man, blue blood. Then he throwing dimes out there to Lavelle Davis, the air up there, Junior. Another dime to Terrell Janner. No name on his back. Salute to the groundskeepers and their movement. And then we got a little razzle-dazzle. We throw a 99 receiver at you. Oh, that's just backup quarterback KT. Transfer, scoring touchdowns. He not throwing touchdowns. He receiving touchdowns. Then another touchdown to the Game of Thrones tight end. Posion. Let me get that. I'll take that hit. Dime. And then defensively, like I said, between downs 1 and 2, we were stellar. Joey Blunt, bring a little cloud to sunshine, get that sack. But on third downs, we just couldn't get off the field. Etienne doing what he do after the catch. Don't want to praise him too much because he's the enemy right now. Bernie showing you what a 40-year-old man can do in college. And then you have Etienne again, just missed tackles. He being a grown man. But we'll work on that. We'll attack the donut this week. We'll tackle better versus NC State. And the third thing, chunk plays, man. Doing what we do. Billy Kemp IV, wearing number 4. Another dime to the air up there. He got hermed right there. Way to herm him. And this look familiar, right? This look Bryce Perkins-esque. Let's go, B.A. I'm not calling him Ginger Tebow. His name is B.A. But keep your head up, coach. It's okay. Y'all won 41-23. The Wahoos come up short to Clemson, but it was a better showing versus Clemson this year, but there's no more victories. But with that being said, man, if you want to elevate to the next tier, you got to take these losses because there are teachings. You didn't lose anything but the game, but you came out with some teachings. So, yeah, got some fan interactions already. Andrew Hazel is fired up in Fairfax on Facebook. Salute to you. Hey, like we said, continue to send in the interactions because I'll shout you out. You know how I do. They don't call me the Ballhawk for nothing. I see everything, and I intercept it, and I provide it to you. So this is what the Fourth Side, this is what we do. Coming out of break, we're going to have some breakdowns of the quarterback position, and we might have a special quarterback joining us. You don't know which quarterback it is. So we're going to go into this break, and when we get back, we'll have a special guest for you. This is the Fourth Side.
Find we have a way about us. It comes from being unafraid of the hard things, never losing sight of the little things. And when all is said and done, coming together to enjoy the good things. Because every inch, every number, every call we earn for the salt of the coast, for the stones of the capital, for the hug of Skyline Drive, for all Virginia.
Not given. Welcome back to the Fourth Side. I'm your host, Amal Hawkins. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Continue to interact on Twitter and on Facebook. And before we get into our special guests, we know we got to reveal them in a special way. And we talk about the quarterback position with Brennan Armstrong, his development through the first two games, the positives, the negatives. So I know he's always a hot topic. And I had to get a quarterback that had some success versus this next opponent we have coming up in NC State. Nick Baker and his newborn is watching the fourth side. Salute to you. But not the guy in red. We're not having him. We wish we could have got Phillip Rivers. If y'all don't know a little tidbit about Phillip Rivers, my last ever play at Scott Stadium, I picked him off. That's my glory. That's like my Al Bundy for a touchdown to my kids right there. But we got Matt Schaab on the show today. Schaab. That's how I used to call him. Schaab. When he was a young pup, when he got on campus. But he's our special guest, man. You see him throwing dimes versus NC State. Oh, look at Schaab with the sweet feet. A little swing back action to the Lundy man. All he did was score touchdowns. So, we had to bring big names. And, I'm always honored when the big names come out. He's been playing in the NFL for like 30 years. I've been retired since 2012. And he's still playing. We have Matt Schaab on the show today. Matt, what's good, brother?
Everything's good. Just down here in Atlanta, trying to get a win this weekend against the Carolina Panthers. But, man, it's good to join you and talk to all the Virginia faithful out there.
Yeah, man. Matt's been a long time, brother. Man, I remember you come in as a pup, even though you still was bigger than me. You always had that big arm. Remember you on the look team, giving us fits, preparing us. So I always tell folks I appreciate you a lot because you always prepared a guy like myself for the upcoming opponents. But you talk about Atlanta getting ready for Carolina. You got some former Who's down there. You got Alameda Zacchaeus. You got Kurt Benkert. And you got L.R. Leroy Reynolds. How does it feel, to have former Who's that are youngsters with the Wally vet like yourself in the NFL?
I'm down here. It's cool to see the guys that are transferring from Virginia and the football program there and translating that to the NFL. So to have them and find out what's going on campus, on grounds there in Virginia. I'm so far removed now from up there that, it seems like ages ago. So it's neat to see what those guys have been going through and what the vibe up there with UVA is all about right now.
Yeah, Matt, I'm kind of jealous because once I left, Coach Grove came in and let y'all put names on the back of y'all jerseys. So, yeah, man, I'm jealous. How did that feel having your name on the back of the jersey?
On the back, but it was always about the logo on the front. That was never a big deal, but it was cool. I mean, Coach Grove came in and brought the NFL swag to our uniform, brought the socks, which wasn't very good in the beginning of the season when it was so hot. You had to wear those, wool socks pulled up, but it was a kind of a new look uniform, but so it was cool, but the names on the back were definitely a unique touch.
Man, shout out to Ann Moore in Henrico as she is watching the fourth side with my man Matt Schaab. So Matt, I gotta give you your flowers while you're here, man. 22 school records when you left. 3rd-round pick of the Atlanta Falcons. You played in Houston, Oakland, Baltimore. Full circle back to Atlanta. How has that journey been for you in the NFL, man? I know as a kid you dreamed to play on the big show, on the big stage, but 17 seasons.
By really quick. I wish I could say 17. 17 years has gone by so fast. I mean, it's been an incredible journey. Just going back to, seeing some of the clips here from Virginia. I mean, it seems like yesterday. And but all I've been through in the NFL, the different stops, all the relationships, people I've been around, coaches I've been around. Man, it's an incredible journey. And, one day here, in the future, once I'm done playing, I'll probably look back on it a little bit more. It's hard when you're going through it to really reminisce and sit back and think about all you've been through and, what you've done and who you've been around. But man, it's come full circle for me back here in Atlanta and a great organization and a fun team to be around. So, excited about that.
Yeah, we talk about your 17 years. Can you talk about your battles with Phillip Rivers at NC State? 2 classic drop back quarterbacks, big arms, strapping young fellas, and not only about, the back and forth with him as far as on the field and outdueling him. Did Phillip Rivers ever curse at you that we don't know about? Because they say he don't curse. He just say, other words, but he's respectable in his own trash-talking ways.
anything to me. You know, he kind of aims that at the defense, mostly D linemen. I don't know why he likes to antagonize those D linemen very often, but he does. You know, me, I like to just talk to the DBs because, you know, you DBs get sensitive. And, you know, you can take it personally and then you get in your head. But if you just fuel and stoke the fire of those D linemen, they don't like that. And I don't like to do that to them. But, you know, I never heard him cuss. I haven't. But we had some battles going back to Charlottesville our junior year. We played in the rain, won a hard-fought defensive battle, low-scoring game. But then we had a shootout senior year down there in Raleigh, which they ended up winning late in the fourth quarter. But, man, we had some duels and we had to trade blows. Like two heavyweight offenses just standing in the center of the ring and just slugging it out.
Man, you're not lying about DBs being sensitive, man. You got to tell the whole world that we sensitive, man. Come on, man. But I played receiver too, so I ain't really that sensitive, I guess.
When I came in, you were a receiver, so you had that, you know, aggressive mindset. So when you went to DB, you didn't have that sensitivity that those guys that were born and bred to be a corner or a safety. You know, you weren't like that. You had that hard-nosed mentality. You couldn't rattle you mentally.
Yes. I didn't pay him to say this, so he did this by himself. This wasn't rehearsed. I do have a question from a fan for you from Ethan. He said, and it's a tough one, Matt. Who is the best wide receiver and running back you played with? You played a long time, too. It's a lot of people.
Are we going throughout the NFL, too? I mean, is this over the duration of this whole career?
You know what? We're going to keep it UVA thing. We're going to just say UVA.
Receiver-wise, I got to be Billy Mcmullen. You know, I mean, just could do everything. He came right in on grounds and started right away. I mean, as you know, he stepped in as a freshman and played big for us. So definitely Billy while I was in Virginia. And then running back, we had a bunch of them. You know, it's hard to go. You know, we had Alvin, Pierman, and Wally Lundy. That 1-2 punch, that duo that we had there for a couple of years was pretty formidable. I mean, Wally, you know, was a little bit more between the tackles running the football. Alvin, same thing, but he was more on the perimeter, but both could catch the football. So it's a flip of a coin between those two guys.
And, you know, speaking about the current coaching staff right now and the current offensive scheme, you know, with Kurt being up there, I know you're probably familiar with Coach and what he asks out of his quarterbacks. But I got a fun question for you. You feel like you could have been a quarterback in this system? You know, like to run around.
You know, I know one thing. If the plays are drawn to throw the ball, I'll find the open receiver and we'll make some plays in the air. You know, I wasn't built to be a runner. You know, maybe that wasn't my cup of tea. That's why, you know, you run when you have to as a quarterback. See, runners run, throwers throw. And, you know, so I would have found that open receiver and made yards that way. That was, you know, that's my type of build, and that's how I play.
Somebody put in the chat that shoulder versus Duke his fourth year. You know what they're referring to?
Yeah, first game of the season, you know, going into my senior year, you know, we drove right down the field on the goal line, and I got hit, you know, from the blind side and separated my throwing shoulder, so I missed a game and a half or 2 games with that shoulder. Yep.
Oh man, I didn't even know that. But what are you seeing out of Olamide Saki as he's been balling out there? Most recently, when you guys played Green Bay, I think he had a career high in catches. How have you, you know, can you describe his development and what he's doing this year?
Really done since he stepped into the building was he was on top of his details. You know, he was not a guy that you would have mental errors from. And you see that a lot with young players, you know, especially a receiver, where to line up. Who am I? Because we were playing him at Z, we were playing him at F, at X. He was all over the place, but he did not have and if he did make an Emmy, he did not repeat it. So that was first and foremost. You know, you had a bright guy that knew what he was doing. And then it was just the fine details of his route running, which he's really exploded as far as his ability to diagnose things after the snap with his route running. He's always been sure-handed for us. But a reliable guy like that, you can never find a replacement for that. And so right now he's getting a lot of opportunities, like you said, against Green Bay last week with Julio kind of nicked up with a hamstring. You know, he's had to step in and fill that void and pick up the slack there and help our receiving corps. So he's a guy that, you know, he plays on special teams. He can play all the positions offensively. So those guys are super valuable, and OZ's really stepped in and shown his worth to our team.
After this.
Yeah, and we got another question coming up. So I'm going to read that on the screen once it shows. Hasn't shown them. Oh yeah. So it's not shown, but I remember that. Do you have any aspirations to coach once you're done playing? High school, college, professionally? What do you foresee once you're done?
Yeah, I've not ruled. I've said for a long time that maybe it wasn't for me, just because I know the time commitment that goes into that. If I were to do it the way I would know how, or I would want to, and as a quarterback, there's a lot of long hours, early mornings, late nights. But I've not ruled that out. If the right opportunity presented itself, or the right organization or team or something like that, I would love to. A lot of knowledge that I've accumulated over all these years. So, we'll see what happens, and definitely haven't ruled it out.
And lastly, man, before we go to break, I do have to ask you because a lot of folks, in today's game, we see a lot of quarterbacks shuffling in college. It's always like a quarterback controversy. Before you became a full-time starter, you rotated with Spinner, and I think you may have rotated with Biscuit as well. And that's Coach Hagan's for on the Four-Side fans. How was that for you mentally, not knowing if you were going to be the starter and rotating? How did that work for you, just as far as your preparation?
Difficult as a youngster. I was a sophomore. Me and Bryson Spinner, that we were the same class, and we rotated in and out of the lineup. Whoever somewhat had the hot hand that day, and that's who we stuck with for that game. And so, as a 17, 18-year-old kid, that can take its toll on you. But I tried to stay true to who I was in my mental preparation, knowing because of that, you're only one play away, whether the other person makes a mistake. Reps in practice or, in the NFL, I've been a backup, I've been a starter, and you always have to be sharp and be on your details and have that mental toughness that, you're not going to get discouraged. Even my junior year, we started off slow against Colorado State, and Marcus Hagans went in, Biscuit went in and played a little in that game and then played the next game. And then, we made a switch late in that game against Florida State, and, we never looked back. And then we found a role for Biscuit as a receiver, punt returner, and running back for us. So, but my mindset was always like, just do the best you can with the opportunity that's presented.
Yeah, and I do have to commend you for your mental toughness because, as you stated, runners run, throwers throw. You have to know your identity. And, a lot of times a young 17, 18-year-old young man or even 19 can kind of look at this competitor and say, well, let me show that I can run around, because you were essentially pitted against dual threat guys in a sense, of guys who were known to use their legs to be successful as well as their arm. And you could have fell into that dynamic of trying to play outside yourself just to compete with what they do. So do commend you for your mental toughness, man. That definitely takes a lot. And that also shows why you've been in the NFL for 17 years now. So like I said, man, I'm here to give you your flowers while you're here, Matt. And you got time to stick around to make some picks, because I think I got a special guest for you in the next segment if you can stick around.
For you, no problem.
All right, Forsyth, we'll go to this break, and I have a special guest for Matt Schaab, and we'll have these ACC picks for you. Don't go anywhere. Back to the Foresight. I'm your host, Amal Hawkins, and special guest Matt Schaab has returned. And speaking of special guests, I got another former Wahoo great, another former NFL player. He's retired now, and Matt, you're used to seeing the back of him when he's breaking the huddle. He protected you, and so why not bring some top flight security for you? No, the other Elton Brown. Is this the real Elton Brown? Would you consider that, Mr. EB?
I would say so. Schaubster, what's going on, brother? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
And it's good to see you.
You too.
So
man.
how
It's
is it?
always a pleasure.
How is it, Matt, to chop it up with Elton Brown, man, a guy that, was given a scholarship. I was about to say paid, but y'all didn't play in the NFL together, and we don't do payment here at UVA. Scholarship to protect you in the pocket.
Always knew, with him, I never had to worry about that side. And I always knew when we ran that power that he was going to come around. And for Wally and Alvin, he was busting that hole wide open. So with Elton, it was safe and secure there in the eye of the hurricane that we call the pocket. So I never had to worry about him.
And how was it before we kick into these ACC games, because this is going to be a nice segue, can y'all discuss the Virginia Tech games? How was it competing in those games together?
I mean, you come to UVA for that game in a sense. It doesn't matter, the records are out the window when you get to those games. It doesn't matter who's playing, how they're playing. Of course, one of the most memorable moments was the 2003 game. Of course, when we won, and Schaab lit it up. I mean, we knew who we wanted to attack. Offensively, we did it through the air. We ran the ball when we needed to, and we came out of there with the win. I think Wally and Lundy had 4 touchdowns that day by itself. But I think one of the biggest plays was the fake field goal to Heath Miller. Kind of set the tone, and it was the reverse of Beamer ball. So we kind of gave them a little bit of Beamer ball.
Yeah, man, definitely. And, Matt, I know you on a strict schedule, man. Anything you want to say to the fans before we let you get up out of here and we do the picks? I appreciate your time.
Piggyback on Elton's statement there, that fake field goal, we're only up 7. We faked that field goal, got a first down with probably, 3 minutes left in the game. And the very next play was 16 power. And for anyone that knows football, they know that blocking scheme. And that means Elton Brown is pulling on 16 power. And you know what we had? We had a 19-yard touchdown or 22, whatever it was, yard touchdown run straight up the middle of their defense because that man right there just opened up that hole. But, that was definitely the highlight game for us in our careers, because it ended with you through your show here, Hawk, and man, I'm privileged to be on here with you guys.
Hey man, we definitely appreciate the time, and we just want to say QBs have memories like elephants because he remembered the actual play call and the result. That's why you mad Schaab. 17 years, man. Hey man, it's a blessing, man, to speak with you today, man. I always appreciated you and definitely proud of you, brother.
Appreciate you having me on. Thank you.
All right. That's my man, Matt Schaab. And with that being said, Mickey, you gotta make some picks, man, because we're going to chart and see how many you get right. Because you always say you could pick them. So we got you to pick them.
I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Oh, look at you.
I'm
go.
ready.
So first, who we got first up to see if he going to get it right? What game we got first? Let's see. I gave him a hint who would be the first game, because that's why we talked about them. We got Virginia Tech versus UNC at noon in Chapel Hill. Last year they went to 6 overtimes in Blacksburg. Who you got, Biggie?
I'm going with, I can't say the other guys, so I'm not going with those other guys. I'm going with the guys down at Chapel Hill. They're ranked 8th in the country right now. I think it's the first time since like 15. And I think right now if they get past this team, they got a chance to, come meet the Cavs being 5-0. So if they get through this game, I think it's they could go on a 2-game stretch, win 5 in a row, and then that, fruitens it up a little bit for us.
Yeah, man, I gotta agree with you, but Petty Hawk won't let me agree with you. Petty Hawk said Virginia Tech gonna upset UNC because they showing all this Jordan gear with the powder blue Nikes and stuff. So I think Virginia Tech will upset. I don't know if Hooker coming back or not, but that running game that Virginia Tech has had on display, look at that. Look at that emoji. That's the Petty Hawk emoji, too. But in all honesty, man, Virginia Tech is a dark horse. The way they've been running the football, they got the leading rusher in the country, the transfer from Kansas. And I think even though UNC has been very good versus the run, I don't think they've seen a running game like Virginia Tech. So Yeah, Ballhawk said UNC gonna win, but Petty Hawk bullied me today and said Virginia Tech. So
one more thing too, Hawk. I think the defensive coordinator is coming back for Virginia Tech. So it's kind of, I wonder how that's going to play out. It might be, they've been playing pretty good. I will give them that. They've been playing pretty good. But when you get, when that head man put the hat back on, he might have called different on 3rd and 4. So
that's true.
We'll see how that go.
That's true. We just want to continue to encourage the fans on Facebook and Twitter, continue to interact. Let us know what you think. And also, I might slide in your picks too, so you never know. But next up, we got Pitt versus Boston College. Both teams had close games. Pitt lost a heartbreaker to NC State, who we play next, and then Boston College lost a heartbreaker to UNC. Hey, man, it's going to be a bloody game in Chestnut Hill, man. Who you got, Elton?
I'm going to say Pitt's been playing sloppy the last 2 weeks, and they caught up to them last week. So I think with that and that wake-up call, I do have Pitt coming out. Boston College is no slouch. They had some tough games. They should have won last week. They had some opportunities to capitalize, but they didn't. But I think Pitt got the wake-up call, and they'll move to 4-1.
Yeah, man. I like what you said about Pitt. Those 13 penalties versus NC State definitely jumped out to me, and their inability to get off on third downs versus NC State jumped out to me. And I was impressed by Boston College versus UNC, so I'm riding the hype train. I'm going to go with the team that got a bird as their mascot, so I'm going to go with Boston College today. We're going to keep the party jumping. We're going to keep the disagreements going. We both on the 757. We can't make them think we in cahoots, so we got to disagree today again. And next up now, this the game everybody looking for. You got the U versus Clemson. If I'm not mistaken, the U in the top 5 now, or close to it, or at least the hype is. But they playing in Death Valley, 7:30 p.m. prime time game. Who you got?
In the words of Draymond Green, Trevor Lawrence is chasing the farewell tour, baby. So they're going to make sure that man goes out on top, man. This is his last one, last season in Clemson. I think they're going to do what they do, continue to push on to this championship game. So I got Clemson by – it's going to be close. I say Clemson by 10.
Yeah, Draymond Green also told Paul Pierce, "You not Kobe," but I'm still gonna go with Trevor Lawrence. I can't bet against Sunshine. You playing against a team for the Sunshine's sake, so he gonna be shining bright. I do love what King is doing with the resurgence and the confidence of Miami, but I just think Etienne, that guy right there, is gonna be too much. He is special. As much as we talk about Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, remember that name because he is special. So I got Clemson, and I think it'll be close initially, but I just think that pedigree. Is going to show the undisciplined ways of Miami. So that might have been a subtle shot. So, sorry, Miami. Let me get that chain, though. And last but not least, we got UVA versus NC State. Now it's time to pick the Who's versus the Wolfpack. But this game preview is brought to you by Red Diamond Coffee and Tea. Red Diamond Coffee and Tea. It ain't about who we got. It's how we going to win. We always got to get that out there. So we don't really pick. We just going to describe how we going to win. So what's your game plan? Former offensive lineman, 3-3-5 defense. How would you attack the Wolfpack if you was the Who's?
I mean, you got to run the ball. One of the things that we, like Schaab just said, we were comfortable running the ball against whoever. It didn't matter if it was Florida State, Miami, or NC State. So you got to get back to being physical. And that starts with the guys up front. I mean, I love these type of games. NC State's coming off a great win last week. UVA's coming off a close, disappointing loss to Clemson. So this gives us the ability to get back in the driver's seat and do what we do. But we got to go out there, run the ball, take the pressure off our newly started quarterback, and do what we do.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. We definitely have to run the football. You got to be balanced versus NC State. The one good thing they did versus Pitt, they made them one-dimensional. They shut down their run game. They do got a stout defensive tackle and playing that two gap for NC State. So it's imperative for us to wash them down. Like what you remember the saying, let them go where they want to go and just watch and escort them out the club. Don't let them be stout and show too much resistance. But we have to be balanced. Got to get Brendan in rhythm early. And I could definitely see us Oh, and we actually got a question about. Look at that, right on cue. You fans, y'all something else. I love y'all, man. George from Richmond said, "What's been the key for Brendan seamlessly calming down and getting into a rhythm as the game goes on?" And I'll let Elton also add his 2 cents. My thoughts is the fact that he was coming in off the bench always in those real crunch time type of situations, his freshman year versus Louisville versus Georgia Tech, and then the fake punts and field goals. I think that allow him to stay even keel and get into that rhythm if he's errant early. And I think it's just his demeanor as well. He's a cool, calm, collective kid, and he had a great teacher in Bryce Perkins. What's your thought, E?
Similar. Like Schaab said when he was on, one of the things when you're taking over a job, early on it's always difficult. Of course, we've been battling the unknown this season. Everything's different, so that adds to it. But once you get your feet underneath you and start to play football, it's just what you've been doing all your life. So it's just he's on a different stage now, and now he's becoming comfortable knowing he's the man. So as the game progresses, you get comfortable what you want. The coaches get comfortable what they want to call, and they put you in the best position. So I think going into the second half, we have a great coaching staff at making adjustments. So they kind of put them in a position to win late in the game and be better.
Man, look at you. Good God, that boy breaking it down. Ooh-wee. It's just not the bid. That boy. AB, man, before I let you out of here, man, just share with the fans what you're doing right now and any statements you have for our fan base, the fourth side, before we head into this break.
I'm down in the 757, coaching at Apprentice School. The offensive line coach, the recruiting coordinator, and the run game coordinator. Been here going on this is my third season, of course, due to the COVID. We're not playing this season, so looking forward to getting back out there and playing. But the good thing is I get a lot of time to watch my Who's. It was always great catching up with old guys. I wanted to tell Schaab before he got off, one of the greatest things that Schaab did for not only our program but myself was I learned how to be a professional from Matt Schaab because as a sophomore, he dealt with a difficult back-and-forth situation. And the one thing I can attest to was coming into the facility and he being the first one there, or leaving the facility and him still being in there watching film. So it's that old saying that you never know who's watching you. And me being a young guy, I started as a freshman. But to see a guy who he wasn't the clear-cut starter, even fans, a lot of fans didn't believe in him early on. And for him to put the time in, put the grind in, everything that he got, he deserved. And I know I wish the whole Duke thing, the shoulder thing wouldn't have happened because that was the season he was up for the Heisman. But you talk about a guy who led by example. He wasn't vocal. He would get pissed and he would do his little cussing. But the one thing that I would say he knew with him coming into the huddle, I'm going to get all this guy has. And I think to me, I've been blessed in this football game because in college I played with one of the best minds, I believe, at the quarterback position. And then in the NFL, Kurt Warner. So Kurt Warner reminded me of Matt Schaab. And people, I know it's different dynamics. Kurt Warner's, it is what it is. But
yeah,
me speaking from what I was in the huddle in Charlottesville and when I was in the huddle in Arizona, you talk about two of the guys who they're going to know where you're supposed to be. They're going to know where you need to be. And if you're not there, Kurt Warner not going to cuss, but they're going to cuss you out to get where you're supposed to be. So I played with two of the greatest minds in this game, man, and it allowed me to further my career. Being in Charlottesville and Schaab getting us in the right plays, like that's helped me get to the NFL. Like, yeah, you had to do some work, but it's always great playing with guys who you can lean on.
And don't sell yourself
on.
short, man. You participated in the Super Bowl. How many people could say that?
Yeah. Kurt Warner.
So 757 to the Super
Yes,
Bowl.
sir.
The real, I ain't gonna do that because EB our boy. So the other Elton Brown from the 7-5. I appreciate you taking time out today, man. I appreciate you for disagreeing with me, man. It's like old times. People don't see our text messages, so they got to see it in person.
Exactly, man. It's always a pleasure, brother. Hey, like I said, man, if you ever need me, man, I'm here, man. I love this thing. I got time on my hands, and all I'm doing is growing the beard, man. That's it, man.
It looks impressive, man. The fans definitely love that you joined the show today, and definitely that open invitation will be used. So stay tuned, and fans stay tuned as we go into this last break.
Appreciate it.
I do this for my goddaughter,
For my mother.
my family,
For my grandma.
Honey and Papa.
For my parents.
My grandma. She's never missed a home game.
My team.
My team.
The community.
Charlottesville.
I do this for the world.
I do this for UVA.
I do this for you. Stop the spread.
Wear a mask.
Wahoo wah.
Back to the fourth side and fans, we do this for you, the fourth side. I keep saying the fourth side, but you got to drill it home. This is the fourth side, and you are the fourth side. So in our last segment, we got to preview the game. What will the Wahoos do versus NC State? If I can be Dr. Anai or Coach Mendenhall or Coach Nick Howell, what would be my game plan? The Ballhawk game plan, not Pettyhawk. The Ballhawk game plan, the reasonable one. So I said, you know what? Let's go ahead and show the people what I would do if I was in the coach, because in the booth, I'm undefeated. So the keys to the game, don't let the pack eat. Play hard knock football and the Cavalier consistency. And what that does entail. So don't let the pack eat. Don't let them run the football. They've demonstrated the ability to run the football in earlier games versus Wake Forest, I believe. They ran for like 270 yards. Then versus Pitt, they demonstrate that they can get you with chunk plays through the passing game, back shoulder throws, misdirection, screens, throwing to their 6'7" tight end that they have also. So limit the chunk plays and get off the field on third down. Hard knock football. Get the ball to Wayne, Tyler Popper, the Samoan slasher. He was running on beaches, people. Running on beaches. You know how hard it is to run in sand? High knees. Roger Craig. Run through people. Then you got Simpson. Change the pace. Run through people. Let them get low and nasty on the offensive line. We just had Big E here. So run the ball for Big E. 16 power. Call the old offensive coordinator. Draw that up in a day. Then Cavalier consistency. Let's mark out first quarters and start from the second to the fourth, because that's when we've been scoring recently. So let's make sure we don't start out slow. Be consistent. Let's execute. We know you got plays scripted out the first 10 to 15. Let Brennan get in the groove. High-level guys on side of the ball. Utilize all your weapons and make plays. And 5, let it fly. That's what the Ballhawks say to you. Let it fly. You ain't got to throw oops to everything, but let it fly. And fans, speaking of let it fly, let your questions fly right now. This is for y'all. If you got any statements from Facebook or Twitter, we got some time, a little bit of time in my hands. I try to work some questions in because, again, this is the fourth side. This is for you, the fourth side. So let's see what we got. Oh, look at that. Juan Thornhill's pick, and they called him a Ballhawk. My old employer, the Kansas City Chiefs, I didn't have any picks there, but Juan Thornhill wearing 22 with a pick. Welcome back from the ACL injury, but he's still a Super Bowl champion. And we saw this all too many times at UVA. Picking off a quarterback from the Patriots. Wasn't Brady, but we still picked off a quarterback from the Patriots. Look at Juan. Still sweet. Get out of bounds so you can celebrate. Remember what I told you. When you pick it off, run out of bounds, quick, fast, so you can celebrate. Because if you score, you got to get right back on the field. You know, in college, you had to play kickoff team, and coaches didn't let you take plays off on special teams. So that's what we got, man. Do we have any more tweets or questions before we close the show? Because I know how it is. So nothing from Facebook. Twitter, we definitely appreciate you. Facebook, we appreciate you. Matt Schaub, taking time out of your busy day, NFL schedule to come on the show, brother. Just want to give you your flowers, man. Love you. And also, Big E, Elton Brown, came on the show. 16 power. And tomorrow on the ACC Network, you got to do what you got to do to get the ACC Network. I'm not going to get into the logistics, but ACC Network, we play at 12 noon, high noon, versus the Wolfpack. Wahoos, Wolfpack. Be there. We got to win. Get back on the winning ways, man. Until next time, it's the fourth side where we always ready to ride. Ballhawk, we out.